tiny activity. Coding is in progress, and I want to invite Harold to say a prayer for us. Then we'll get started.
All right. Good morning, Sam.
Morning.
All right. We can all bow down and pray.
Yes, sir.
Heavenly Father, we come before you this morning. We are so grateful, Lord, for the gift of life and for the gift of friendship and for the gift of work, Lord, that you've blessed us with, Father in heaven, Lord. As we want to begin this session, we pray for the speakers this morning, Lord. I pray, Lord, that may you guide them on all the aspects that, Lord, they are going to share. And I pray for each and every business that is represented here, Lord. May they become better because of the session, Lord, that we are going to have, Father in heaven, Lord. We also want to thank you for AMI and Cooperative Bank for giving us an opportunity, Lord, to get to upskill so that we can be able to build and grow our businesses. Be with us now and forevermore. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ, we pray and believe. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Good. Thank you so much. Definitely. The book of James says the prayer of a righteous man availeth much. So we thank you. I believe that prayer is going to avail us much of what we need in this session. Okay, so we're here. There's over 100 people here within the Zoom space, but also a lot more who are viewing and watching and so on. So we want to say welcome to everyone. Now, I want you to imagine with me, tiny exercise before we get into the rest of our session, okay? So imagine with me, it is February 2030. It's 5 years in the future. Your business is unbelievably thriving. Your product, services, and are all loved by your clients and partners. Your employees are excited about their work and they're always striving to do their best. Investors are knocking on your door and they're always just constantly knocking, and your business is impacting and inspiring your community. In fact, more doors just continue to open. You've invested, and at this level, you are seeing the rewards coming in plenty. Do you see that? Okay. You can give me a thumbs up, or you can say yes in the chat, because I want to ask you the question that I want to place towards you. Okay. Can you see that? Can you see that vision? Give me a thumbs up. Yes, thank you. Yes, so just use the emojis. So you can see that. Can you see that? So your business 5 years from now, fantastic, big. This is what we pray for you. This is what we believe for you. Now, once you have that vision in mind, right? I'd like you to answer this question. What's the one key thing or area that you focused on to get to such results? You're in 2030, you're looking back and saying, I believe this is the thing we focused on to get here. Type that in the chat. A bit of reflection there. David says he's stuck to his vision. Nicholas says exemplary service is what got them there. What do you say? What got you there? 2030, you're looking back, saying, man, what did I start doing in the years of 2024 and so on? What was that? Simon says discipline in vision and persistency. Okay, very good. Chesubire says, oh, Chesubire, great, good to see you here. She says, we solve the most important problems for our market. Anthony says consistency. Daniel, customer focus. Peter, identifying customer needs is what got them to that level in 2030. Mbuyi says, I'm not sure what I did, but somehow we are here. Okay. Timely service, Edward says, we focused on providing timely service, and that's what led us to this kind of success. Bao says continuous improvement, also known as Kaizen, yes, from the Japanese side of things. Samuel said focusing on changing lives. I'll read just a couple more. Thank you for the submissions here. They're quite amazing. Samuel said changing lives. Princeton said dedication and focus. Good. Wycliffe said persistence and focus. Conversation with customers. Very good. We know you can't achieve this success without having conversation with customers, getting feedback to improve. So there's the aspect of continual improvement that keeps coming back. Okay, Sammy says for his business, it's coffee quality and quantity that was consistent. Let me read just a few more. There's so many submissions, I won't be able to read all. Lewa, I like Leonard says a good bank. They built a good relationship with a good bank. And at this point, it's always a good way to plug in Copper, but let me hold back. So Simon says budgeting and good services. I'm reading just a few more: resilience, positivity. Eric says putting to practice the fundamental success principles. Very interesting. So let me hold myself back. I want to read all of them, but let me hold myself back. This is a gem. What you have in your mind right now and what you've written down is something to hold on to. You could have typed 1,000 other things, but you picked that one particular thing. If we had a further conversation, I would ask you why that particular thing. But I'm going to leave it to you to kind of consider. And maybe if you put it to some of your friends that you work with, your staff, your partners, your business partners, your key employees, what would they say? Maybe this is an opportunity to have a good discussion. For them, would they say it's vision? Would they say it's quality service? Would they say it's focusing on impacting the community? What exactly would it be? And then hopefully we can together put our minds together and build the future that we want to see, because the building of the future starts today. If we didn't start yesterday, today is the next best time. So we're doing that. And I want to say thank you so much for the submissions. All right, cool. So without any further ado, I want to invite Peter, who is the head of non-financial services, Peter Ndumia, to give a bit of a welcome note and get us into the momentum for the day. Peter, welcome. And Peter, I'm curious, maybe as you come on, for you, what was it that you put in the chat? Maybe if you can share with us.
All right.
5 years from now.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sam. For me, I said I identified the customer's need, what they're looking for to offer to the society and to the customers.
Fantastic. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. And I'll allow you to do the welcome note.
Thank you. Thank you, Sam, and many, many thanks. Good morning, our dear customers. Many, many thanks to see all of you in this meeting. Happy to see the engagements that are going through already on the chat. And I'm happy that, again, we are meeting here, CoopBank MSME webinar that happens every Thursday. I'm also happy and excited to see new customers who joined for the very, very first time. Karibuni sana. There are those who are joining for the second time. Welcome. And we are happy to see all of you. We meet here just to make sure that we learn and network and make sure that then our businesses will continue to grow. And I think this point is just to ask ourselves, why do we meet here? Why are we always inviting you to SMS? The conversation that happens around your branches, why are we inviting you to these sessions? The reason as to why we do this is just to make sure that we offer you all the necessary tools and all the necessary financial products and all the information that you require to drive your business to the next level. And we know we are calling it MSME webinar. Why? It's taking care of the micro, the small, and the medium enterprises. You know, the micro enterprises wants to grow from micro to the small, and the small wants to go to the medium segment. And we're here just to support you to do that with the information that we feel are very, very critical for you, just to do that. So this is in addition to the other services that we have. We do meet here, or rather in other physical events. We do MSME networking forums, we do MSME clinics, we do international business trips. We have a lot of online engagements. It's part of the non-financial services program that is offered to the business people to help them thrive and even grow. And so for us, is really to welcome us in this session today. We have a very, very great, session. We talking about our visions, and I promised you that we have like 3 months that we'll be talking about practical tools, practical things that you're able to pick and you implement in your business, and you see your business move from one level to the next. And so, karibuni sana, welcome, and let us participate. Let's use our question and answer tab to ask questions. Let us participate on the chat box. Let's have these engagements, and I'm very sure we'll have a good session, and things that we are able to implement in our businesses. And with that, Sam, I want to hand over the meeting back to you. Proceed. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So you've heard a little bit about the COP side and the work Peter and the rest of the team are doing. Let me walk you a little bit through what AMI is doing, because this is a collaboration between COP Bank and AMI coming together to provide the value that you're looking for your business. Okay, so very briefly, for those who may not know, who are here for the first or maybe second time, African Management Institute is all about providing practical management and workplace training, power your growth. So you know where you want to go, you know the direction you want to push towards, but we know that you can't do it alone. Okay, so it takes a team to make the dream happen. And the team needs to be in a certain kind of mindset, need to be a certain kind of skill set that they have. And what we do is we provide that training that can help you to move your team to the next level. And that's so being that you move your dream as well to the next level. So we've been doing this for a while, especially through virtual and customized programs that we run across Africa. It's quite a bit of presence across Africa. Everywhere you see green on the map is a place which has a AMI presence. So Nairobi is where the head office is, proudly so. We have a regional office in Kigali, Rwanda, Johannesburg as well. And we believe we have a lot more work to do, even if there's a sense of, there's a bit of work that has been done, but there's many more businesses to reach, many more places to go to. But right now, we celebrate that since 2014, so last 10 years, about 42,000 people trained across close to 40 countries, so 39 countries. We're excited about that reach presence across Africa. Now, for the context of today, I want to go ahead and do a quick introduction and then let you also know what we are going to be doing. So last week, we had a bit of the delivery of the session from Joe and speaking to us about from idea to action, what needs to happen, how do you frame your vision in a way that will move you forward. Okay, so without any further ado, I will invite Joseph to say a quick good morning. Joseph Kashira, co-founder and executive director, Inuka Leadership. Joe, if you could come on video and just say a quick hello, and then we'll introduce the next person. Joe, welcome.
Right, thank you, Sam. Good to see you. Harry, Peter, and everyone else. I see today it's a full house, so we are looking forward to the session. As Sam has mentioned, my name is Joseph or Joe Gashira, one of the co-founders at Inuka Leadership Africa. And at Inuka, we are passionate about raising a generation of competent and transformational leaders and entrepreneurs. So that's what we do. And a big part of what we do is actually training leaders and entrepreneurs and also coaching them. So for those of us who are here last week, as Sam rightly mentioned, we took a deep dive into just understanding, what is vision and how does it look like for our businesses. And we said that this week would even go and dive deeper into understanding how that looks like for our specific businesses. So Sam, is good to be here again, and I'm looking forward to just engaging and more so hearing from the businesses, on the ground. So it will be a bit different, interactive, but all the same, we hope that everyone can take as much value from the session today and apply it to their businesses. Asante sana.
Very good. Thank you. You've already met Peter, who's head of financial services at COP Bank. And the person you have not met yet is Harold Angila. He said the prayer, but I'll ask him to do a quick introduction, and then I'll lay out what the format is going to be for our conversation today. Harold, morning.
Morning, Sam. Morning, everyone. My name is Harold Angila. I know at some point, quite a number of my friends who are in this panel might refer me as Harry. So if you hear anyone being called Harry, that's me, yours truly. And I'm really excited to be here. I'm excited because this is one of the most exciting phases of running a business, or rather starting a business. And also as a business person, I'm really looking forward to the interaction that we're going to have. And I'm sure it's going to be worthwhile having us all here today. So thank you very much. Looking forward to it. Sam, back to you.
All right, very good. So now let me frame our session today. We're going to be hearing from our speakers. So I will be moderating, but we'll hear from Joe, representing Inuka Leadership from the voice of a coach. We'll also hear from Peter Ndumia, who will be representing COP Bank in the scenarios that we're going to be providing. But we're also going to be hearing from Harold, or Harry Angila, who is lead marketing and activation for African Management Institute. So last week, we kept mentioning we did a bit of the theory and some of the introductory aspects of this. And then we said, for this session, we would like to invite 3 people, just because of the time, 3 people, 3 volunteers who went through the exercise. And I'll show you what the exercise looked like very shortly. So last week, yes, we started from, with Joe, but we did this, he left us this framework to work through, okay? My vision board. How do you get started? How do you think it through? It's February, so we are not assuming that you have not done any work towards clarifying your vision. No, we are solid. We are confident that you have, but it's always good to sharpen, okay? Every pencil, as long as it keeps working, needs to be sharpened. And that's how our minds work. That's how our visions work. We need to stay on the cutting edge. Okay, so it's always good to clarify our vision, and that's the assignment we had for last week. Can you think about your vision? Okay, what's your motivation or inspiration for creating your product? What positive change do you want to have on the world? Who are you doing this for? What's your target group? What are the needs? What problem does your product solve? What kind of product do you have? And what are your goals? How does the business benefit from doing all of this? Okay, so this is the framework that we had. And if you missed last week, happy to reshare the slides and all the content with you. But for today, we got 3 volunteers. So many more, we could have had many more, but just because of the time, we want to frame it and have 3 volunteers who are going to be getting on. And then they're all ready. So Princeton, John, and Nehemiah are here. And they're ready to share what they came up with as a result of this exercise. And then as a response, we will hear from Coach Joe. For the context of our conversation, I'm going to be referring to him as Coach Joe, was the coach in business. We'll be hearing from Peter and Dumia on the side of the bank. How would the bank respond to this? Can the bank support? When you come with your real case scenario like this is my vision, how can the bank support me? But also we'll hear from Harold Angela on the side of AMI, what kind of support can come through, but also thinking in terms of what kind of questions do I need to be thinking about? Are there some that I may have left out? So we have 3 people. One is in aqua farming, the other is in healthcare, and the other is in the medical field. Okay, so to be fair, these may not be necessarily the fields that you're operating in, but we believe that business runs on principle. Anything that's going to be built to last has to be built on principle. And we believe strongly that in here, everyone can learn. As soon as someone has shared, after about 4 minutes, I want to give them the challenge of sharing within 4 minutes. We get a response from the coaches, but I'll also be inviting you to respond in the chat. What have you learned? What have you seen? What do you like? What would you maybe caution? And that kind of thing. How can you weigh in? Okay, because we are discussing as a group. Naturally, I'll ask you to be kind with your words. So this is not the opportunity to tear down someone's concept or business plan, but to build. So the language has to be in that same vein. All right. Are we good to go? If you are, type go in the chat just to let me know you are ready to go and ready to fly. Okay. Go. If you're very excited, type capital G, capital O. Okay. Until I see lots of go in the chat, I'm not sure we're ready. Okay. And as you do that, so we have Princeton Mwamburi, we have John Kimemia, Nehemiah Mohatia, and I want to go ahead and invite Nehemiah. Okay, lots of go in the chat. Very good. So Nehemiah, would you come on video? Let me just double check that he has the access for that. Nehemiah, Fiona, if you could kindly assist me. I'm just double checking. So we have, oh yeah, Princeton is here. Okay, Princeton is here. I can see Princeton, so maybe we go ahead and start with Princeton. Princeton, welcome and good morning. Please unmute your mic. If you're comfortable to be on video, you're happy for you to do that. If you're not, I will respect the fact that you prefer to be off of video. Princeton, can you hear us? Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Is my voice clear?
Yes, very clear. Will you be using your video or would you rather not?
I'm not sure of my internet where I am today, so if
no
you
problem,
allow
no
me-
problem.
Yes.
Yeah, you have full permission. We want you to be very comfortable. So
Okay.
Princeton, we're going to give you an opportunity to say a quick hello, and then we get into what your exercise looked like. What did you discover? I'll give you 4 minutes, what that vision looks like for you, and then we'll hear responses from the coaches, and then okay. Yeah, if I may dial back a bit, Princeton, give me a moment. A bit of housekeeping. Nehemiah and John, we are sending you an invite to join as panelists so that you can have access to the camera and the microphone and so on. So Fiona is going to send an invite. So it will come on your screen as join as panelist. Please click on panelist. So it will take you out of this mode and bring you back as a panelist so that you can use the platform more comfortably as someone who is presenting. And then Princeton, kindly requesting, give me about 5 minutes. I'm going to turn back. Let's first do a recap. Since we have many people who came in and they were not here last week, I'm going to ask Joe to do last week's recap. And then we'll come back to you, Princeton. Is that all right, Princeton?
It's okay.
Okay. Joe, I'm handing it over to you for that recap.
All right, thank you, Sam. So I'll take the shortest time possible to review what we looked at last week, especially for the guys who are not, with us last week. So we started on the whole idea of, taking your idea into action as an entrepreneur. And that largely had to do with, crafting your business idea. And one of the things we talked about is defining vision. And we said this is a mental picture of a preferred future. And I like the activity that Sam has taken us through as we began. As you look into the future, how does that look like as far as your business is concerned? And so we said this is, the why. A vision is really the why. Why are you doing this? And we said a clear vision is very critical in actually achieving the desired result you want for your organization. So we went ahead and defined business vision. It needs to be, positive, acknowledging challenges, but also keeping a focus on positive outcomes. We said it needs to be very clear. Clarity is very key. Easily understandable. It needs to be future-oriented, as we've said. How does the future look like from where we sit right now? It needs to be very specific and also needs to be very ambitious and challenging, such that we are all challenged to work towards that particular goal. The other thing we mentioned is we looked at some of the compelling business visions in line with that definition. And one of them was obviously for one of our partners here, Coop Bank. And their vision is to be the dominant bank in Kenya and the region, riding on the unique cooperative model and providing innovative financial solutions for distinctive customer experience. And if you look at that, you see that it ticks all the boxes in our definition of our vision. And we went ahead to look at others, and I'm sure you can be able to track that from the slides that they will be shared. Then we moved on to look at now what are the strategies that we can employ, specific strategies in terms of just moving our, vision from idea to action. And one of them we said was idea refinement. You really need to refine your idea. And the building blocks for this were, you need to do something we call a product solution fit. Is the need you're meeting an imaginary one, or is it a real need that is actually on the ground? So we need to really figure that out. And what, as a rider to that, we need to do a lot of market research. We need to do a competitor research and a gap analysis. What's the gap that is already existing in the market? And how is your business or your product or your service coming to speak to that? And part of this, we talked about the minimum viable product and the prototypes as being part of, just having a small, kind of model of what you would want to launch in a bigger version and trying to test it first before you actually go full large scale. Then we talked about figuring out your unique value proposition. What is it that you offer that is uniquely different, especially from your competitors? We talked about iterative process. This is actually going to the market with your service or your product after doing all this kind of research and letting and allowing the market to give you feedback. And as it does that, then you're changing, and pivoting as you go. That's what we call the iterative process. And then we also spoke to the idea of business coaching, which is what we are doing today, and mentorship. So all these are building blocks for the first idea to action strategy, which is idea refinement, refining your idea. And then we moved on to the second one, which was the plan framework. So this is a framework. And again, we said we are going to engage with a lot of tools. So plan, we talked about plan being an acronym for purpose. So what's the purpose? What's the why of what you're doing? L was the levers. Levers is things that you can actually take advantage of to give you competitive advantage. So it might be your location, it might be your demographic, whatever that looks like. What is a lever for you when it comes to what you're doing? A was for accountability, and we talked about the RACI matrix, who is responsible, who is accountable, who is consulted, and who is informed in every decision of your business. And then the last one was the numbers. And we say that numbers is evidence through metrics. And we say the numbers is how your business speaks to you because it doesn't have a mouth. So this is a framework we gave, a plan framework that is purpose, levers, accountability, and numbers. So that was a second strategy for idea to action. And the third and last one we spoke to was the action plan. So how do we really break down this action from a vision to a mission? So a mission is the how. How do you give wheels to your why? And then after the mission, we talked about the goal, and this is a desired outcome. What is a intermediate term or broad kind of outcome that you are looking at? Then you can break down the goals into objectives, and finally activities. These are is like a to-do list of what we need to do. And then we talked about SMART goals, and we said these goals that you're talking about here need to be SMART, and we defined that. Again, you can be able to follow that through the slides. And then we also said we need to define these tasks based on dependencies. What cannot happen without something else happening? We talked about defining the key performance indicators. How do we know that we are hitting the goals and the objectives that you set out to? So what are some of the indicators that we can be looking at? And we also talked about performing a SWOT analysis to be able to help us to do this. So SWOT means strengths, weaknesses. So these are mostly internal within the organization. And then opportunities and threats. So these are external. What opportunities are being presented and threats from the external environment. Then we quickly went to look at the vision and how it aligns to the organizational goals. We talked about the organizational structure, and we talked about the alignment. We talked about the bus analogy. So what structure do we need? The structure of the bus. What do we need for our business to function? This is the structure. What roles and positions do we need to have? All right. And this we equated to the bus seats. And then how do we get the right people in the bus? And we said we need to avoid that reverse approach where we first, invite our friends and everybody else who thinks we think can be our co-founders and members of the business. And we said, first of all, let's figure out what's the business. Who do we need in the positions, and how do we get the best talent to be able to serve these positions? So that's the organizational alignment. We talked about the culture, and we said as we do this, we really need to be careful about the culture. What are the core values? What are some of the things that we hold dear as an organization? This is a culture, all right? And we said this famous saying by Peter Drucker, that culture eats strategy for breakfast. So we can come up with all these strategies, but if you're not very careful about the culture around it, then culture will come and consume all these strategies, and at the end of the day, we will fail. So that's important to note. And the last thing we spoke about here was the operations alignment. So what are the key operations that we need to figure out in place, especially to avoid a lot of ambiguity and complexity within how we do our work? So again, we said as we do that, we need to leave room for flexibility and adaptability. Again, because we learn as we go, we've talked about pivoting. And so we want to allow ourselves a place to learn, not to be very fixed to stone, but to say, what are we learning and what can we change as we go? And that's what we were speaking to when you talked about the iterative process. And last but not least, we spoke about how do these business goals align to your personal goals? Again, because you're the entrepreneur and you're the one running this business. And we said we need to get into a place of an integrated approach where we foster a holistic perspective. So you need to be very careful to integrate your own personal goals into your vision process as you work on your business. And then we talked about the Kiyosaki Cash Flow Quadrant, and it's a book we highly recommend for you to read. And we said, ideally and eventually, we need to consider how we can move from entrepreneur in that quadrant, who is somebody who is self-employed. And we define this as being an owner of a job, to a business owner or an owner of a system. That way, the business can continue to operate in your absence. After that, we looked at what Sam had projected earlier. And this is a vision board. We said now this is an essential tool for us to be able to figure out how do we move our, idea into action when you're looking at our vision. So Sam, maybe I can take another 2 minutes before the guys present to just explain. Yes. So when you talk about the vision board, especially for the guys who are not here last week, we are talking about a tool that helps you to define your vision. So this is in summary, what's the idea, what's the product, what's the service that you're offering? And there's a section for that, as you can see right there at the top. Then when you talk about the target group, I think I need to spend some time here, especially because I already reviewed some of the vision boards you shared. target is really specific. You don't want to be very broad, and we're going to be addressing that as we do the coaching. But I want to introduce quickly, very quickly, 3 terms. So when we talk about target, normally we talk about something called TAM, another thing called SAM, and not SAM Chimera, and another thing called SOM. All right? So TAM is a total addressable market. So for instance, if you're doing fish farming, total addressable market in this case would be what's the demand for fish in the whole world. If you decided to go that way, then you can be able to say, this is my market. This is a total addressable market. So this is a total market for your product. Again, this is not your target market. So we are going down. After the total addressable market, which is a TAM, we come to what we call the serviceable available market. And that's what we are calling SAM. And you will not forget this because of SAM Chimera here. So serviceable available market is to say, what portion of this total addressable market can I acquire based on my business model? All right. So maybe your vision is to reach Kisumu. All right. So that makes sense to say, I cannot focus on the entire world, or maybe we can put a focus on Kenya and say that our serviceable available market based on our business model is able to serve the entire Kenya, but not to reach the entire world. All right. So this is what we call the serviceable available market, SAM. And then last but not least is something we call the serviceable obtainable market. And this is what now is your target market, serviceable obtainable market. Now, this is a percentage of your serviceable available market that you can realistically capture. So you can say, yes, I'm looking at the whole Kenya, but realistically, based on my resources and my business model, the only market I can reach right now is Nairobi. Okay. And that's your target market. And that's what we really want to see in your vision board. So I hope that gives a lot of clarity on that. Then when you talk about the needs section, which need does your product fulfill? Remember, I've mentioned, is there a real need or it's a perceived need? So which need does your product fulfill or your service? All right. And how does it create value? So first of all, I want to see in your vision board, you talking about a need. So maybe a need is riding on the same fish example. We need a huge size and diet, something to do with the nutritional value. That's a need, okay? And then now tell us the value to its users. What this does is that it contributes to health and wellness, all right? So I want to see the need. So what's the need? And then what's the reverse of that? What's the answer to that need? So that's what I want to see in that section. And then when you talk about this product section, what are the 3 to top 5 features of either your product or your service? So if it's a service, maybe you're a lawyer, I saw somebody is doing legal or accounting service. Is it or photography? Is it, quick turnaround time? What are the 3 to 5 features? If it's a product, is it how it looks? Is it the packaging? Is it the pricing, for instance? So tell us about your product and what's your unique value proposition. What makes your product? What will make me go to you and not to Kamau or to person X? So that's what I want to see in the product section. And last but not least, when we talk about the value, what the business goals, what benefit will it have to your organization? So here I want to see things like maybe increase in revenue. Remember, we are talking about clarity. So an increase in revenue by 30% within this timeline. I want to see such kind of statements. We want to enter a new market. We want to expand the fish business beyond Nairobi to Kisumu and to Eldoret by Q3 of 2024. That's a very specific goal. I want to develop the brand and build visibility, grow my Facebook followers or my online purchase leads from online sources by this percentage. I want to reduce my operational cost by 30%, my OPEX, and my CAPEX. So those kind of things are what I want to see. What value, what goal, and what benefit does this bring to the organization? So having said that, I think I can hand it over back to you, Sam. That's a recap for last week. Yeah, and I hope I just want to ride the piggyback on a comment. Mbui said, he said, I don't know. When you're asking where do you see yourself, I don't know how I got there. And we said last week, just as a recap, I don't know if Mbui was here, but we said, if you can't explain what made it work, then you won't know how to fix it when it breaks. And so Mbui, that would be a good note for you to just engage in this kind of process. Back to you, Sam.
Fantastic. Already we're benefiting strongly and the numbers are also increasing in the room. Thank you for that recap, because I realized that lots of people were not here last week. All right, so without any further ado, we have 3 participants, just to remind those who may have missed it. We have 3 participants who volunteered, and I want us to appreciate them, show them some love. So we have Princeton Wamburi, we have John Kimemia, and then Nehemiah Muhasia. So they're going to be sharing, but let's start with Princeton. So Princeton, you have 5 minutes. Please try to, let's keep it within the time, 4 minutes if you can, and then we'll hear responses from Coach Joe. We'll hear from Harold from AMI, and also from CoopBank, our CoopBank representative, who is Peter Ndumia. And then we'll also get input from everyone else who's in the discussion and see how we can learn on how to sharpen our visions and make them even clearer. Princeton, welcome, welcome. Princeton will be off of video, so you'll hear his voice, but you will not be seeing his face. Be gracious with that. Princeton, over to you.
All right. So am I supposed to share my screen?
If you can do that, I can go ahead and stop sharing. Princeton, are you in position 2?
Okay, yeah, let me do it.
Okay, good. And remember, we're going to hear from people from 3 different fields. They may be related to where you are, but they could also be completely different. All through, please focus on the principle. How can this help me apply in my business? Because at the end, we are going to ask you, what can you do about what you've learned today? How can you apply it? So we should have some application. All right. Princeton, are you in position to share your screen?
Yes. Is it clear on your side?
Oh yeah, that's perfect. Please carry on.
Okay. I didn't make any perfect slide because I didn't know how it was supposed to be done, but it was just a summary of what I thought, but there's no
summary is perfect. Yeah. Summary is perfect. Go ahead, please.
All right, so I'm Princeton Wamburi, and I'm a proprietor for the High-Tech Aquafarm. Currently, we have an office in Nairobi and one in Voi Town. So my vision is to enhance the agricultural sphere of the region, thus increasing profitability and job creation. So just to speak on my target group. Target group, of course, is guided by serviceable, obtainable market. And currently, I'm working with youth, women, and some organizations in Taita and Kilifi counties. So currently, our numbers of farmers are 77, which some are in groups and some are just in individual projects. So on my needs, you'll find out like at Taita Taveta, there's no fish production center or fish fingerlings production center. Fingerlings are young ones of the fish. So what used to happen is like the county used to order or used to buy fingerlings from as far as Sagana or Kisumu. And then recently there's one person who developed a good hatchery around Mtwapa region. But you find out that now because maybe the county needs 100,000 pieces of fingerlings within a short period of time, these suppliers have not been doing good in terms of quality and all that. Then the same thing happens to fish feeds. If you check on my needs, happens to fish feeds, because majority of these guys were just producing feeds, because now these farmers are directly dealing with brokers. Because if you look properly, when economic stimulus program, which was begun by I think, and not I think, this was begun by Kibaki in the around 2007, but in our county came around 2009 and 2011. Most of these farmers or MSMEs were not introduced to farming aquaculture in a business oriented way, but all of them were just doing it as a formality or as another way of rearing livestock or doing any agricultural products. So most of these segments, there was a lot of breakdown on what is supposed to be done and by who and at what time. So majority of our farmers had no places to find the right feeds and which are the right feeds. So brokers would mess with them. And if for you to get a proper product, which is the stable size fish, you need also to get the right seed and get the right feeds. So the project, which now was financed by World Bank, and yes, by World Bank, did not have much results as it was expected. So I saw a niche there, and that's where now we had to jump in and make it our business and make profit from it. So on table size fish, I know you guys, have heard several times of our president talk of China fish and all that. Majority of the fish consumed the entire, even coastal region at large, is was from China before the importation tax and all that. All the taxes were increased and all that. But before the last year and all those years, a lot of fish, specifically tilapia and una, was from China, because these guys brought fish very cheaply. Like 1 kg when it began coming in was going at 250. So if there's fish for 250 and these guys cannot tell the difference, and here you have your fish for 400, of course you'll have to get your prices down and all that. So those were those were the competitors then. But the good thing with now, prices have gone high, so we are at 350, and if you have the right quality of table size fish at hand, you'll be able to sell in proper prices and make some good money from it. So those are the needs which were in ground, which now made us now see a niche, because an entrepreneur will always see what the need is and what are the customer needs, and then now look for solutions, which now those solutions to the community or to the customers will make them now generate some profit from the sale. So so if you look it properly here, my needs are low quality fish fingerling. The needs now in the region, coastal regions, low quality fish fingerlings. There's also low standard table size fish. There is low quality fish feed. So my business is providing high quality fingerlings at affordable prices and within customers' reach. Because the hatchery which I'm telling you, they are which are within, or which not that within, but around cost. There's some are selling the fingerlings very expensive, so it's like exploitation. Because for a fingerling to go at, let's say, 20 shillings per piece, it's supposed to be the size of that one finger of yours, the middle finger. But what happens is you buy a very small fingerling, and when the pond is not properly done, when there are a lot of frogs in that, the fish or the young ones of the fish will just be consumed by the frogs or the other animals here in the pond. So what we recommend and what we are doing as a business is we are supplying farmers with the right size fish fingerlings and of proper quality, because also they are varying qualities, and then at affordable prices, the prices that our customers can really afford. So so as I speaking of the needs, of course, you have also captured my products. I'm dealing with fish fingerlings, fish feeds. Fish feeds we are not producing our own, but right now we're working with Unga Feeds. So we buy feeds for our farmers or for our clients from Unga Feeds. Then there's also the table size fish. Now these are we buy directly as a company. We supply our farmers with fingerlings. We supply them with feeds, and also now buy the table size fish later and sell to and supply to the market. Then also we do pond construction and dam construction. We also install the dam liners and all that. Then of course we do the consultancy in all aquaculture related activities. So this basically on my goal, I just broke down my main objective or goal here, and is to be the major producer and supplier of quality fish seed, fish feeds, table size fish, and also of course do the best work in pond constructions and installations, and of course in consultancy services. And in all this, to measure now, of course, we have to measure either the performance of the business. And my point would be to measure now what we are, because now we are here talking of numbers. If the numbers increase in turnovers and profits, then and we have created the jobs that we have anticipated in the what we have projected in our business plan, then now we will know that our business is doing fairly well in the set time on the goal in the rightful timelines that we had given. I think I'm done with this, and I welcome any reaction to the same and any corrections.
Fantastic. Please keep your screen on share. Let's appreciate Princeton. A big round of applause. It takes a lot of courage and also openness and willingness to share your personal business idea and see how it can, especially in front of several hundred people listening in and weighing in. So let me start with so quick comments. We're going to do quick comments. Princeton was the first of three. Quick comments. Shall we start with Joe or shall we start with Harold? Maybe let's start with Joe.
Thank you, Sam, and thank you, Princeton, again for doing that. Now I'll take a very short time to just give you feedback on this. I had a chance to review it. So Princeton, and maybe before even I do that, I just want to retaliate that when you talk about coaching, what we are doing here today is like holding a mirror in front of you. We're not coming to give you answers. You're the one with the answers, but we're really trying to dig them out of you. So we are just holding a mirror in front of you. You're not just discovering Nikona Kisogo, no, you already know that, but we want you to see it, right? And so ours is just to guide you and to give you ideas on how you can better this. It's one of those scenarios where the emperor is naked, but nobody is telling them. And so for us is to really come and say, hey, this is a true picture, and these are the things that you can do to work on that. Having said that, I just want to start by commenting on your vision. Now, remember we said about a vision being very clear. We talked about clarity and specificity. So when I look at your vision to enhance the agricultural sphere of the region. So again, you want to avoid using a lot of jargon. What is agricultural sphere? What is sphere? Okay, I'm lost there. And when you talk about agricultural, because I've heard you talk about fish and fingerlings, agriculture could be anything from farming to farm inputs to climate change to anything. So you really want to refine your vision and talk about the fish offering and the offerings around that, yeah? And then you need to specify the region. So are you talking about the Western region? Are you talking about Kenya? So just don't write the region, but really specify which region you're talking about. When you talk about increasing profitability, that one should not appear in the vision. Remember, we said a vision is a picture of a preferred future. I'm hoping that your business, the future you see is not just increasing profitability. A vision is an end, is a picture that we see after profitability. What then will happen after that, all right? So I would remove that word profitability from there. I love the word job creation. So as a coach, if I was to be told to reward this particular vision, what I would say is maybe, sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yes. So talk about, because I've heard you talk about even value addition around the fishing sector. I'll talk about maybe revolutionizing the regional fishery sector. All right. And by regional, maybe here, then you can say revolutionize the Kenyan fishing sector. All right. By implementing maybe something like sustainable practices, fostering innovation, and creating economic prosperity through job creation. How does that sound? It has captured the picture. I've just captured what you said, and I'm trying to put a statement to that. Now you can think about it and think about how you can frame it better. And as we do this, I want everybody, I'm hoping all of you have the vision board. And as I give feedback to Princeton, you're also taking time to use the same logic and principle to apply to your business. Now, let's go to the target group. I've said the target group talks to the, serviceable, obtainable market, right? So when you talk about the youth, there are many youths in the whole world. It cannot just be youth. So I want you to talk, and if it's the youth, why the youth? Why are you targeting the youth with? So because I can see two offerings here, it is the fish you're selling and also the value adds. You talked about like consultancy opportunities around that. So you need to define those two in tandem with the vision. But I want you to really define well the target group. So we're talking about the youth. So are the youth benefiting from eating the fish, or are they the ones being employed? The women, again, are they benefiting from eating the fish or the job creation? When you talk about companies, I want you to be really specific. Are you talking about agricultural cooperatives? You need to mention that. Are you talking about, I would throw in something like, farmers. Are we talking about large scale or small scale? When you talk about organizations, are we talking about agribusiness? Are we talking about, suppliers, etc., etc.? When you talk about government, I would mention something like government agency. Agencies and policymakers may be involved in that agricultural value chain. So really work on defining that target group, but a very good attempt there. When you talk about the needs, this one you aced it 100%. You talked about the needs. There's a need for, first of all, you defined what the need is. And there's low quality fish fingerlings, correct? There's low standard table fish, correct? Low quality fish feed, correct? And how are you responding to that need? Producing of high quality fingerlings at affordable prices within customer reach. That is excellent. I feel that like you did a very good job on defining the needs. Now, when you go to the product, all right, fish fingerlings, very good attempt on this one as well. You're giving fish fingerlings, fish feeds, table size fish, and pond liners, and consultancy in agricultural related activities. Very good attempt on this one as well. I feel like those two middle ones, you aced them well. But now on the business goals, remember we've defined business goals as, what outcome do you want to see? How does this thing benefit your business in tandem again and aligned to the vision? So when you talk about to be a major producer and supplier of quality fish feed, and I feel like you're again redefining the vision here. But the goal is, how does it benefit? So remember what I've said when I was explaining. I want you to talk that we want to reach these markets. We want our bottom line to increase by this much. We want our profits. Now you can bring in the element of profitability here when you're talking about the business goals. So I feel like you mix the vision and the goals so you can work on realigning that. And then I like how you summarize the goal down there. Increase turnovers and profits, correct? Created jobs. So I want you to put a metric to it. How many jobs are you creating? When you talk about market penetration, give us a percentage by 20-25%. And how will you measure this performance? Again, give us metrics from that. So this first part is, aligned to the vision, but you've captured the goal down here. But what I want you to do is to just put a metric to that. Otherwise, very good attempt, Princeton. I can't wait to see how you continue aligning this and making it, aligned to the vision. Excellent work. I think it deserves a clap from
Yes,
everybody.
it does.
Well done. Well done.
Yes, it does.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Please, let's give a clap. Thank you so much, Princeton. So if Peter from the COP side of things, what would your comments be if Princeton came to the bank and presented this to you if you were the relationship manager? What kind of questions would you have? What do you like, and what kind of cautions would you be placing? And what kind of opportunities are there with COPA?
Yes, thank you very much, Sam, and thank you so much, Princeton, for the comments and for the good work that you've done. I think a very, very good trial on coming up with a vision board. And I was looking at it, and I think I want to agree to what Joe have just indicated. And I think it has a very good percentage in terms of the qualification. What possibly wants to do is to make it more specific, and especially on the vision itself and the target group and on the business goals. And I think I was looking at the vision. When I read it, I tried to come up with mine. And I was thinking of something like to be the most dominant producer of fish feeds, fingerlings, and the whole aquaculture in coast region, for instance, by providing high quality services with manageable costs through research, value addition, partnership, and maybe sustainable development. Something that would be very, very specific, that has a tangible target market that you're also looking at. And I think one of the things I was asking about, one of the things you mentioned is that you want to target people maybe in Nairobi and in Voi. You mentioned something around that. And my opportunity here and some of the things I will be looking at is to say, how then are you going to achieve all this? Because this, you may not necessarily be able to achieve this. And I think as a bank is to say then, how then are you partnering with a financial institution to support you to achieve your vision? For instance, are you partnering with a bank that can help you to then expand when it comes to the working capital that you require? You have a digital tool, a digital financial tool that will help you maybe to make payments or even to receive your collections. Are you having that kind of partnership with a bank? Are you leveraging on the payment and the collection solutions that we have that will help you again to achieve all this? So I think for me is to say it's very, very good. Just need to make it more specific. If you're talking about youth, which sector are you, I mean, which range are you talking about? Is it from 20 to 30 years? Companies, which companies are these? When you're talking about the government, is it the county government or the local government? If you're talking about the county government, then I want to show you the opportunity to leverage on our LPO financing, and maybe the tender, the performance boards that we can also offer to you. So I think very good. Then it's just to make it very specific and think about who are the partners that you're going to work with that are going to help you to drive your business then to the desired goals. I think those are the comments that I have for now, Sam.
Very good. I think maybe for the sake of time, thank you so much, Peter. For the sake of time, I'm going to maybe, if it's possible for us to move to the next speaker, because we don't want to miss out on the three of them. So let's see. Just double checking if you could kindly let me know, Fiona, who is ready. Just double checking. I have your slides ready. Either it's Kakamega or it's Alfajiri. Just double checking. Fiona, could you kindly advise? Let's see where we are. Princeton, you can go ahead and stop sharing your screen. Thank you. Fiona,
Nehemiah will be next.
Okay,
Nehemiah.
Fantastic. And I believe Nehemiah is Kakamega. Just double checking. Kindly help me. I don't want to mix it up. Alfajiri and Kakamega. Nehemiah, would you confirm which of the two is you?
I'm from Kakamega.
Fantastic. Okay, good. Welcome. Please say good morning to everyone and then jump into your 4 minutes.
Good afternoon, all.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir. Please, Nehemiah, keep going.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, I'm the proprietor of Kakamega Physiotherapy and Allied Services, which is based in Kakamega. And I did a vision statement for my business. And the vision itself is to be a center of excellence.
Nehemiah, allow me to share for you so that you can
Kindly.
focus on delivering.
Yeah, kindly do that.
Yes, go ahead. Joe, you can drop off our video, then we let Nehemiah.
So
Nehemiah, go on.
Yeah, so the vision is to be a center of excellence for provision of quality physiotherapy services in Kakamega and beyond. For the target group, it's mine. I looked at the clients who require physiotherapy services and on the needs. Actually, if I just talk a bit on the target group, there is actually a big number of people who require these services within Kakamega and beyond. But unfortunately, they are not able to access these services. So on the needs, I was looking at the clients with the neurological and musculoskeletal conditions that require physiotherapy. And for the benefits, these clients would benefit from pain relief, would end up with healthy living and restoration of body function. I'm having a bit of a problem with my laptop, but restoration
Nehemiah,
of function
we can hear
of
you.
body
Please
function
keep
after,
going.
yeah, restoration of body function after disease or injury. As for the products that are being offered within my institution or my clinic, we have the electrophysical agents of management, called as massage. And then we have exercise therapy, that is giving particular exercises for particular conditions, and then counseling on healthy living. As for the business goals, I was looking at increased awareness of the services by the general population, because it's like there's a good number of people who don't know that physiotherapy services are available and they can be very beneficial to them, more so with the increased the aging group, with the change in lifestyle and so on. And then with the increased awareness, I was looking at increased uptake of these physiotherapy services by the population around Kakamega and beyond. And then finally, I was also looking as one of the business goals is business growth for increased revenues. Unfortunately, I was not able to make it smart, like to give the figures, the percentages and so on. But that is exactly that is about what I try to come up with. Any is allowed. Comments and advice will be taken positively. Thanks.
Fantastic. Thank you, Nehemiah. Let's appreciate Nehemiah. Big round of applause. Thank you for sharing. I know it takes a lot of boldness and confidence to come, and also vulnerability, really, to share. Let me start with Harold this time. So we're going to hear from Harold, then I'll come back to Joe and Mr. Ndumia. Harold, what are your thoughts when someone comes up to you? I know you've worked with quite a number of entrepreneurs. What are your thoughts here?
All right. First and foremost, I'd want to really appreciate each and every business owner who's come up to share with us their vision board. I think one of the things that was that was crossing my mind is a word called gumption. Let me just share it. So for every business owner who's actually come forward, share this vision with us, thank you so much. So coming to Mr. Nehemiah Musindi, thank you so much, Nehemiah, for sharing this with us. I think your vision statement is pretty clear. However, one of the things that I think has come out clearly is probably we might need to rework on how you communicate your vision, the vision that you have for your organization. I think one of the things I've seen is that, especially with regards to the target group and also for the needs, in the off chance that you don't have statistics, I think you can always use stories. So probably give us a good story on why you decided to venture into this field, or give us a story of one of your testimonials, because that will be able to actually communicate that which you want to achieve. Then the other thing that I'd want to also touch base on, which you've already highlighted on, is how to make your business goals a bit smart. So there are quite a number of matrices that you can use to be able to ensure that you're able to track your goals. So one of the things that we offer at AMI is actually a growth setting tool that can enable you to be able to make better decisions based on data, so that you can progressively be able to track what is happening in your organization, be able to know if you are still within your goals, or if you're lagging behind, or if your team is also lagging behind, so that you can be able to achieve them. Then the other thing that I'd also recommend is just being able to fine-tune how you communicate your business offering, because one of the things I was not able to clearly get was the actual need that is being met. So probably as someone in the medical fraternity, they'll be able to understand, the neurological and muscular, that's a very hard word. I'm not going to try and even say it, but how can you be able to communicate that to the kind of people that you're actually reaching out to? Yeah, so those are my few remarks. Back to you, Sam.
Good. And I just picked up, I had to look at the dictionary for the word gumption. And gumption means grit, determination, backbone, guts, and good practical judgment. So all our presenters today have shown a lot of gumption. Joe, Please come in. What would your comments be? Nehemiah is very open to some direction or redirection here.
Yes, Sam, thank you so much. Briefly, Harry has highlighted a lot of what I wanted to say, but very good job there, Nehemiah. I think that you really nailed the vision. The vision is very clear. It is focused towards a specific region, which is Kakamega and beyond, and we are very clear on what you're offering. Now, when we come to the target group, this is where I have an issue with, because when you talk about clients, so to me, in my earlier definition, this would be a term. This would be a total addressable market. Clients requiring physiotherapy services. Where are they? Are they in Texas? How many are they? We need those figures. And who are they really? So are they, did they get stroke? And that is why they need physiotherapy. Were they born with disability? That is why they need physiotherapy. So we really need to think through the target group in terms of age, in terms of metrics especially. And I like what Harry said, and you also retaliated yourself, that, and there's a quote I love which says, in God we trust, everybody else must bring data. And so in the absence of data, then we are not able to follow and see who we are really talking about. So really put a lot of work in the target group there. When we talk about the needs here, again, Harry has put it very well. Again, we said don't avoid using a lot of jargons. Tell us what are the needs. So because these guys need why do they need physiotherapy? So number one, they're not being able to be productive members of society, or maybe they are, overburdened maybe financially to them, or whatever, or they are not able to perform at work, etc., etc. So what are the needs? How can you convince me as an investor that there's an actual need for this physiotherapy and, kind of service to this particular target group? So the benefits, of course, are very well laid out there. Now, when you come to the product, I think that's a very fair attempt in terms of what you're going to do. And I think in the medical field, you would understand some of this. I see counseling there, exercise therapy, soft tissue manipulation, which is massage. I didn't know massage was known as soft tissue manipulation. I think I need a bit of manipulation on a moving forward because of sitting a lot. But that's very good. I think you did a very fair attempt on the product. Now, the goals, again, I will not belabor that. Please make them smart. Please make them specific. I want to see metrics. When you talk about business growth, what is business growth? That can mean one thing to a person and one thing to the other person. Are we talking about increased number of physiotherapy patients that we are seeing? Are we talking about increased profits or margins? And if yes, by what percentage? Are we talking about opening, because you talked about Kakamega and beyond. What is this beyond? Are we talking about having another one in Butere and another one in Mumias, etc., etc.? So really define these business goals and put metrics to them. Otherwise, I think this was a very fair attempt. Very good job, Nahashon, and Nehemiah, and keep doing this.
Good, very good. Peter, without further ado, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, thank you, Nehemiah, for your attempt. Very, very good. I think I just have a comment on the specific location. Yes, you said Kakamega and beyond, and I'll be interested to find, is it Kakamega county? Is it Kakamega town? Again, I think just make it more specific. And I think I just want to make a comment on the business goals. I think on the fact that you need to make it more specific on the values or the numbers is to say then exactly I want to achieve this number of sales in maybe in a year, annual sales for this. And then again, as a bank from the financial institution, I'll be interested then to say, how then are you going to achieve these numbers? And then how are you partnering with us to support you as a financial institution, to support you, maybe acquire machines, maybe you need some more asset finance to buy some machines. You possibly are looking forward to have more employees. So I think as a bank, then I'll be looking at how then we partner to have salary accounts for your team. And then, for instance, then you need to have more working capital. Then you want to say, how are you networking or partnering with me in the bank to support you, get these revenues? So you see the fact that then you need to have your revenues very, very specific. It's going to guide you on then what are the things or what are the support systems or the partners that we're going to work with, especially on the financial institution, to help you live your desired goals. And again, I think that that's the things that possibly will be required for you. You require an asset finance, you require maybe a medical equipment finance, you require working capital, you require salary accounts, you require digital payment and collection solutions. But then the business goal have to be very specific then to help you to match the solutions that you require. I think those are the comments that I have for now.
Good. Thank you, Peter. Now we had one more. We have about 10 minutes to go, but we had one more presentation. Unfortunately, Kimemea was not able. So Kimemea was from Alfajiri Healthcare. Was not able to left their presentation, but for the sake of our learning, let's not get into Alfajiri. I'm curious. So what are your questions? So having listened to two people presenting, again, a big round of applause for Princeton and Nehemiah. Please give them a big applause. Let's appreciate them one more time. Tirelessly, not going to give up on appreciating. Thank you so much. Now, at this point, I'm curious on your end. So you may not be in healthcare, you may not be in fish farming or agriculture or anything like that. What are you learning from the principles being discussed, from the feedback that is being given by Peter from the bank side and Joe from the coaching side and Harry as well? What kind of lessons are you picking up? Please put that in the chat. What are you learning? Okay, what are you learning? I want to find out. We want to make sure we are learning, because we said that these sessions are going to be extremely practical, and we don't want to be like the gentleman who goes to church and says, you should have been there, the pastor preached, you should have, let me tell you. What did you talk about? Let me tell you, you missed. What did you talk about? Next time you just come. Okay, so what are you learning for your own business? Okay, put that in the chat. And then we'll follow up if there's any questions. We can pick up on a few in our last few minutes. All right, thank you. Nicholas Mutiri says the use of metrics to measure goals or outcomes, very important. Thank you. Rosalind says the data is crucial for growth. If you're not using the data, then it's hard for you to present that case. You have to put the quantification as well. Thank you so much. Keep that coming. I want to read a few of them. Mbui says we need to think about the goals we want to achieve and how. A good way to look at that is the SMART. Okay, so specific, measurable, attainable, realistic or relevant, and also time-bound. Very good. Duncan says be specific. So in your own vision, I'm hoping that these are things that you're going to put in place. Alari says, is it possible to get set up capital funding from Hope Bank? We're going to respond to that shortly, but for now, let's focus on the discussion. In God we trust, everyone else will bring data. Okay. Natasha, thank you. Importance of being smart. Yes, presents a clear picture. I'll read a few and then circle back. Agnes, and for those with questions, again, we are not deferring. We're going to come back to it. Agnes, the importance of partnering with the bank to achieve my business goals. Yes, Obadiah, the importance of understanding your target market. Maybe this would be a good time to, I had gotten that visual right here. So, Joe, if you want to double click on this, you can go ahead and do that. I just put the visual for everyone. You are discussing TAM, SAM, and SOM. Very useful, and also then down to your market share. So I'll leave that slide up on the screen. James says, learn from Joe on how to plan the structure of my business, clarity and specificity of the vision, metrics, goals. Philip, thank you. And maybe lastly, let me read Grace, knowing the target group and their needs. Joe, can I give you 1 minute to just touch on this thing? It seems like a big one. Eh? Would you just touch on this TAM, SAM, and SOM thing?
Yes, Sam, thank you for that. Yeah, so I like the visual you projected there because it's very clear. So again, when you're talking about your target market is, in other words, what we refer to as the serviceable, obtainable market. All right, and that's SOM, and that's the lowest at that particular chain. But before you can understand that or get to that, you need to understand your total addressable market, which you call TAM. So what's the total available market? And the question you ask here is, how big is the largest possible market? If I'm doing fish farming, again, riding on the example we've just seen here, what's the biggest market that I can get for fish? And this is just not limiting yourself to the county, the country, worldwide. How does this look like? And if I decided to, address the entire market, what would this market look like? So that's what we refer to as TAM. Then we come to the serviceable available market. So out of this total addressable market, what portion of the market can we actually serve? Now, realistically, when you look at the business model, our vision, our projections, what market can we actually serve? Now, this is what we call the serviceable available market, all right? And so in this case, then it would be like, okay, our serviceable available market is Kenya. So given good funding, given good structures, we can actually serve the entire Kenyan market. That is what we refer to as the SAM. Now, the target market, or what we call the serviceable obtainable market, is what portion of the market do we expect to serve, okay? And this can change depending on, number one, your vision as it continues to change, and also the business goals as they continue to morph. So maybe your serviceable obtainable market was Kakamega, but in the next year, and as one of your goals, you've said, I want to increase that to maybe 4 other counties, all right? So what portion of the market can you the word here for the serviceable obtainable market is realistically. Given the finances you have, given the resource you have in terms of physical, human, and financial resource, what market can you realistically serve? So this is what needs to appear under the target market in your vision board. And that is what we know as the serviceable obtainable market, right?
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you very much, Joe. Now I realize we have 5 minutes left, and I want to take the opportunity to, Joe, we've had quite a bit. What would be your parting shots? You've been with us 2 sessions very generously. I know you've provided your number here, so if people want to contact you, they can contact you on this number. This is the office line, and this email. But having done this exercise with us and been with us for 2 weeks in a row, what are your comments and parting shots for all the entrepreneurs in the room?
Right. Sam, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure being with you guys, the entrepreneurs, the AMI team, the COP Bank team. You know, I'm just trying to go, there's too many comments here, but what is exciting to me is that I can see that guys have actually learned, and they're latching on these learnings, and this is exciting to me. For me, I'm usually focused on the outcomes as opposed to the outputs, okay? So we can say as an output, we've learned this and we've come up with a vision board, but the outcome is, do we now go to the next step and implement this in our businesses? And do we begin to realize impact that is aligned to our vision? So for me, if I meet you on the street or I come visiting you and I find that these things we're discussing here, the bus analogy, talking about the target market, I can see people saying a lot of help in defining your vision, never giving up, business goals, smart goals. Yeah, a lot of feedback, and thank you for that. So if you see you implementing this to your business, then I think it would be a win for all of us. So that's number one. Number two, Sam, and in conclusion, is that just from the presentations today, I think it would be good for us to learn how to do something we call, and maybe we can have this as session, you know, some other time, to do what we call an elevator pitch. So if you're given 3 minutes to be with the person, you're in an elevator with them, and it's just like a minute. Are you able to condense your business vision and your vision board into that particular time frame? And we must learn the art of not repeating a lot. In fact, we usually say that investors and funders actually just need 30% of the information. So if you're talking about a fish fingerling, don't explain to me, you know, how it comes to be, the process of feeding
the young of a fish, and we move.
Yes, just mention that and move on so that you're able to capture all important information to just elicit this person to want to have a second meeting with you. So apart from that, I wish you all the best in your businesses. The Kenyan economy, 70% of the GDP from Kenya is run by SMEs. And so you guys are great contributors to our exchequer and even to the country as we see it. And I just want to charge you to continue doing that. And help is available. If you want more business coaching and guidance on how you can get this vision going, those are my details, and I'm sure AMI and COP will also share their details. Otherwise, it's been a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you at the top. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, everyone.
Very good.
All the best.
I mean, I think as the moderator, it behooves me to mention that today and the last week you've offered your services freely, but anyone who seeks to reach out to you needs to, this is what you do. You help businesses build their visions and run them and move them from output to outcome. So those intending to reach out to Joe, please have the mind that this is also part of what he does as a business and as Inuka Leadership Africa. So don't be shocked when there's a Kenya shilling or US dollar aspect to the consultation. Thank you, Joe. Thank you. Okay, so at this point, I want to invite Peter and Dumia to let us know a little bit. So from all the discussion that we've had, how can Coop Bank, how can my bank support me in my entrepreneurship journey?
Great, thank you, Sam, and many thanks to Joe for the great contribution. And I think one of the things we are appreciating, Sam, is to say that as we do business, we definitely require the bank to support us on some solutions. But more importantly is the insights and the information and the tools that you require to grow your business. I think in the past we won't have done business possibly without visions, without business plan, and so on and so forth. But I think we are appreciating the fact that we need to partner with banks, both for financial and for the non-financial services. And that is why we have this program that is going to help us to get all our needs addressed. And I think looking and listening to the speakers that we have always, realize that we always have opportunities to improve and to grow, in the way we do our things. And I think as a bank, we continue to echo our commitment to support you with all these offerings. I may not go to all the things that we have in terms of the products and the solutions, but we are able to support you in all the transactional needs that you have, and with all the collection and the payment solutions, that you require to make payments and even to receive your payment, to receive your sales. We have all the lending solutions that will help you to acquire the facilities, the working capital, the asset finance, anything that will help you to acquire maybe more branches, to acquire more stock, and make sure that you have enough cash flows for your business. So I think we echo that commitment to say that we have the transactional solutions for you, we have the collection and the payment solutions for you, and we have the lending solutions for you. Lastly, we continue to give you the non-financial services, the trainings, the forums, all the insights, all the tips that you require. We are just here to offer all those solutions to you. So let's keep on having this and meeting this particular forum so that we can learn from each other and also grow our business. So those are the comments that I have, Sam, for you today. Sam?
Right. Oh, there you go. Sorry, my connection was being glitchy. Sorry about that. All right. Can you hear me, Peter? Is that good now?
Yes, you're good now. You can proceed.
Okay. Thank you so much, Peter. Now, Natasha in the chat is asking, do we have homework? I love it. You guys know this session is going to be very practical. So let me walk you through what you can expect. Okay, so that's Joe's contacts. And just to remind you what you can expect on this learning journey. So we've looked at crafting your business vision. We're not giving you very specific homework. We are leaving you next week. So next week we're having International Women's Day. But as far as homework, we've given you a lot to think about. So Fiona is going to reshare the slides from last week and the practical tool that you can use that was used by Nehemiah and Princeton and a few other people. So please take time and dig in a bit with the generosity of today's learning. Polish your vision board, polish your vision board, polish your vision board. Okay, so that's the homework, if you will. But what else can you look forward to over the next couple of weeks? We're going to be looking at we've looked at crafting your business identity, but now next step would be how do you craft your, we've looked at crafting your business vision. Next step will be how do you craft your business identity? How do you tell a compelling brand story and develop that identity? How do you develop a brand strategy that sets you apart from all the rest of the competition? Then afterwards, we'll be looking at how do you create relationships that last, understanding your customer, your audience, how to communicate to them in a way that expresses that. How do you use technology? Along the way, we'll come on with how we can use technology to make that connection even more seamless. How do you improve on your operational excellence? And lastly, we'll be looking at how do you navigate change. So all these are topics that we're going to be digging into over the next couple of weeks. We used last week and this week to craft our business vision.
Sam, I hope you can, I don't know, you've frozen for some time. Fiona, is it from my end, or you can also not be able to
Yeah.
hear?
Peter, I think we've lost him. Maybe
Yeah,
Fiona or
lost him.
Harry can. Yeah.
Yes, Fiona, you can take over.
Yes, for sure. And we were just closing, so I'd like to thank everyone, and we hope to see you next week. Same place, same time. And next week we'll be diving into more of what role our guests, what role women play in businesses, in the small and medium enterprises. So thank you once again, and I hope to see you next week.
All right. Thank you, Fiona. Bye, everyone. See you next week.
Bye, everyone. See you.